The family feud goes on.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Guys, is that
Are you okay?
what happened there at the face-off?
I'm not too sure, but that's the only shot he's getting off me, silly prick.
Are you
promoter?
I think so.
Ben, do you think there'll be any repercussions? People are talking about a hefty fine from the board and also a hefty fine potentially from the promoter for not having a better handle on the situation. Just saying.
Professionals have now reacted to the bizarre slap on Conor Benn's face by Chris Eubank Jr. as a pair have kicked off one of the most intense build-ups in recent boxing history. Despite his attempt to wax lyrical through Manchester's press conference on Tuesday evening, it is what came at the end that people will remember Chris Eubank Jr. for. After several lengthy monologues, having repeatedly told promoter Eddie Hearn to be quiet and having spoken over Conor Benn's occasional remarks, when Eubank Jr. and Benn finally went head-to-head, Eubank Jr. slapped Benn with his left hand, and the egg he held in his grasp cracked across Benn's face. The egg was used as a symbol, given that Benn failed 2 PEDS tests and tested positive for the banned substance clomiphene ahead of their first scheduled encounter in 2022.
Conor, I've been meaning to ask you for a long time, it's interested me. How many eggs did you have to eat to fail those 2 drugs tests? You dirty
The reality is.
Please tell me.
The reality is.
It's been racking my brains for a long time.
The World Boxing Council later, upon clearing Benn, claimed that those results could have occurred because of the number of eggs Benn consumed. Benn has maintained his innocence throughout. Until that moment, Eubank Jr. had been outspoken but measured. When Hearn initially started talking, Eubank Jr. said, "This is Eubank versus Benn, so you can either sabotage the event or be quiet so we can proceed with the press conference. I don't want to hear what you have to say."
Everyone wants to know.
The reality is, I've been cleared 3 times by the NADP, by the WBC, by UK, by the way, which people are a lot smarter than you. Number 1, I've been cleared.
"I'm more popular than you," countered Hearn, who then turned to Benn, 28, and said, "How are you feeling about smashing this geezer to pieces? Because I can't wait." Eubank Jr. then offered his take on the boxers and where they stand in terms of their popularity in the UK, where their fight will generate massive business and will likely sell out the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when they meet on April 26th.
On site next time, Conor. Of course it is.
What's going to happen Thursday? What's going to happen Thursday?
He's going to get chinked. Do you think Ben Shalom knew about it, Conor?
It's a little slang. Thank you.
The bad guy is back again. Eubank Jr., 35, smirked. Still never cheats. Still never lies. Still never cuts any corners. Yet he is still the bad guy. Isn't it incredible? First time in boxing history, there are 2 bad guys. I've been booed into every British fight I've had since 2014. Just let that sink in for a second. That's 11 years of being the bad guy. I'm a veteran at this stage, a super villain, if you will. I remember the first time I got booed into an arena. It was against Billy Joe Saunders, another scumbag in the boxing industry. It's a cold, dark moment in your life when you realize you're in an environment where thousands of people want to see you get hurt and lose.
You will never be cleared being a wanker. Period. That's it.
So,
That's
when you say you've been cleared, what does that mean?
Even recently, walking into Wembley Stadium for Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois, I walked in, the cameras were on me, my face went up on the screen, 88,000 booed me. And that was after a career-best performance against Liam Smith when I beat him in a rematch. On April 26th, I'm probably going to walk into the same environment. But it's okay because I'm not going to be alone. There are 2 bad guys in this fight, and there's one in me who has accepted his fate. I gave up on my dreams of being the hero a long time ago. The other still wants, believes, and dreams of being the good guy, the golden boy. That's what I believe. You had it. You had the whole public behind you. Everyone wanted you to win and be the next big thing in boxing. I never had that. Do you know what I would have given to be in that situation? You had it, and you literally threw it all away.
People by a lot.
What does it mean?
You have the IQ of a 5-year-old child.
Does that mean that the drugs went in your system?
I've been cleared. Done.
There you go.
That's it. No, you keep going on, but I've been cleared.
The entire public wants to know.
Eubank Jr. claimed that Benn would try to use beating him to get back into the good graces of the British public, but said, "It's not going to happen, kid. Sorry to break it to you." When Benn started to hit back with fighting talk, Eubank Jr. grinned. "Shivers, I love that. But Eubank Jr. was not done. You go online, and I see that there's a split, he continued. I either see people saying Conor Benn is going to knock Eubank early because he's too young, too strong, too ferocious, too hungry, too angry, or that Eubank wins on points because he's too big. I've had 34 fights, 25 KO, and I can only beat this guy because I'm bigger than him. No, I'm going to beat him because I'm a better fighter in every single department. He cannot beat me.
That's the truth.
There were performance-enhancing drugs in your system, and all you and Eddie can come up with
Do your
after
research.
2.5
Do
years
your
is
research. Do your
he's been
research.
cleared. We can't say how or why or...
Do your research.
But he's been cleared. It's okay.
Well, I would like to say...
Eubank Jr. was still not done. The British rivals, who will fight at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on April 26, at times acted like petulant children and hurled foul-mouthed insults at each other throughout the event. Benn has always denied intentionally doping, and both fighters are being tested by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association for the contest. An independent report by the WBC in February 2023 stated that his failed drugs test was not intentional and could have been caused by a highly elevated consumption of eggs. Apparently, egg contamination was a reason for his 2 failed drug tests, so I contaminated him with an egg. Eubank posted on social media with a clip of the incident.
You don't spend nearly £1 million to fight the case if you're a drugs cheat.
Yes.
Eubank made a slow entrance and demanded Benn be seated closer to him. I don't know who you think you're talking to, responded the Twitcher Benn, dressed in a black silk pajama-like outfit. The fighters belittled each other's records. Eubank spoke about the injustice of a rehydration clause, which means he cannot weigh more than 10 pounds above the middleweight limit on fight night. Benn, on the other hand, said he would render Eubank unconscious. I'm excited to end this man's career, said 28-year-old Benn, who has won all 23 of his fights, 14 stoppages.
Exactly.
The old money, no.
No. He's an idiot.
how much-
He owes his name on £4 million. That's why he's taking this fight. Don't talk shit.
With 34 wins in a career spanning more than 13 years, Eubank, 35, has fought at a significantly higher level. His losses have come against former world champions Billy Joe Saunders, George Groves, and Liam Smith. I'm going to beat him because I'm a better fighter in every department, he said. Eubank and Benn have reignited a family rivalry after the Hall of Fame fathers fought for a second time almost 32 years ago. Eubank Sr. was not in attendance, however, and appears reluctant to be involved in promotion of the fight. The bottom line is that his dad does not even like him, said Benn as the war of words continued. Nigel Benn and Eubank's team, including promoter Ben Shalom, remained quiet, but Eubank took particular aim at Benn's promoter, Eddie Hearn, who refused to back down. This is not the Eddie Hearn show, he said, talking over Hearn every time the matchroom chairman spoke. As a standoff ensued, it is unlikely that the Manchester Central Auditorium, which usually caters to corporate events, has seen such theatrics. Benn versus Eubank is a bloodline rivalry that has transitioned into bona fide hatred. Put these two volatile Englishmen together in any room, and the chances of it kicking off are extremely high. When asked by BBC Sport before the media conference what he thought of his opponent,
agreed in the contract.
What was agreed was that the fight would happen and that Conor Benn could beat Chris Eubank Jr. at any weight. That was what was agreed.
No.
when Diaz Adenzaid Oladipo introduced Eubank Jr. as trainer Ronnie Davies, who worked with Eubank's father Chris Sr. throughout his championship career as Ronnie Shields, Eubank corrected him. Let's put some respect on his name, he snapped. He's done too much in the game to mess up his name. But Davies was unfazed. I think it's great, the veteran Brighton-based coach said about the sons of the great British rivals finally fighting. I've got the greatest respect for Nigel and his son.
Eddie,
Your man said when the contract.
stop interrupting me, Eddie. Let me cook.
No, because you're a plum. Friday plum. And you signed the contract. You signed
I did sign.
I think you're going to see another major fight. Conor, Chris is too big for you, mate. You haven't boxed enough, and you haven't fought at his level. He's too big, and he is good. People don't realize how good he is. May the best man win, which will be Eubank. A lot of people don't know what he is. I do. Showing mutual respect, Nigel Benn and Davies shared an embrace moments before tempers flared. While Davies has historically had input into Eubank Jr.'s career, it is likely that Eubank's trainer, Jonathan Bank, will be the chief voice in his corner. He had the least to say out of everyone on stage, simply adding, "I think it will be a good fight." The Tottenham fight card is the first to be staged by The Ring, the boxing news outlet owned by Saudi Arabian boxing power broker Turki Al-Shik.
Show me the money. That's what I said.
You know why?
If you're going to have that advantage over
poker,
me,
that's why you need the money.
if you're going to have that advantage over me,
You're shit poker, that's why
then
you
you've
need
got to have, then you've got to pay top dollar.
this fight.
You've got
The noise, the way it shattered, it was like glass. Eddie Hearn told DZN, having been on stage when Chris Eubank Jr. used his left hand to push an egg into the face of his rival, Conor Benn, at the press conference announcing their fight. Hearn, who promotes Benn, was targeted by Eubank Jr. throughout the press conference. The promoter was continuously told to be quiet by the opposing fighter, but it was at the end when Eubank Jr. made his move on his opponent. The presser, "Eubank is quite amusing," Hearn said. At the end, "Crazy move, you come on stage with an egg." I thought it was glass. The noise and the way it shattered was like glass.
As much as Eddie doesn't want to admit that for public knowledge, that's what's happening.
What's public knowledge?
I'm being paid to restrict my weight.
No, you're on a weight.
Not being funny, listen. All I'm saying now is all bets are off. If you bump into Nigel Benn in the next 10 minutes, watch yourself. Nigel Benn had been on stage with his son while Eubank was flanked by Jonathan Banks and Ronnie Davies. The thing is, with Eubank, everything is premeditated, added Hearn. The game's the game, the fight's the fight. What I'm saying now is all bets are off, anything goes. You've gone to that level, it's on sight. In the world we live in today, it's going to go viral, and people are going to find it hilarious. Yeah.
He got you a good deal, but he knows what he signed. You know what you signed.
Chris was paid to do this.
I don't care what
Chris was paid to do.
So
good.
And
Bottom line.
paid to restrict.
Listen, we were over the moon. We got 60-40 split in our favour. Next
Oh,
question.
BA.
now just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
And also, one thing I want to say.
This fight was massive. Now it's gone to another level. This fight is going to sell out quicker than you ever imagined. Hearn stated that the fight would now likely become a Nigel Benn Barkley type shootout, which the Roughhouse Ben famously won in a wild single round. Forget a game plan, forget a strategy. He's coming in with speed and ferocity to knock out Eubank in 3 rounds, said Hearn. The egg was symbolic, as Eubank Jr. mentioned throughout the press conference. Benn had previously failed drug tests before their first scheduled date in 2022 for the banned substance clomiphene. The World Boxing Council suggested that an increased consumption of eggs could have been to blame. Benn has consistently maintained his innocence.
Now this rehydration situation, I've never done it before. Usually I put on...
Benn and Eubank are due to go head-to-head in the London leg of their press tour on Thursday. Tuesday's event was in Manchester, England. They will fight at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the capital on April 26. Conor Benn has claimed Chris Eubank Jr. owes Neymar £4 million during an explosive press conference in Manchester. Eubank Jr. and Benn, the sons of historic rivals Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn, kicked off their press tour in heated fashion on Tuesday after striking an agreement to settle their long-running feud in the ring on April 26 th. The pair had originally been scheduled to face off in October 2022 before the fight was cancelled due to Benn failing 2 drug tests. The scandal was brought up once again by Eubank in a conference dominated by Eddie Hearn firing barbs at Eubank and Ben Shalom over their allegedly strict contract conditions. Eubank Jr. said,
I'd fool you tonight.
Okay, let's get it done.
Cool, let's get it done.
Let's get it done.
All right, well, congratulations, Conor. We'll sit you guys.
I've been meaning to ask you for a long time. How many eggs did you have to eat to fail those 2 PED tests? 17. Ben, who had a suspension lifted, insisted that he was cleared by all drug screening authorities before adding, "He is an idiot. He owes Neymar £4 million. That's why he's taken this fight. So don't talk nonsense. I said he owes Neymar £4 million. Have you not heard? So don't come talk to me about bollocks. This is why you have taken this fight, and you are about to get rendered unconscious for it. You're money hungry. That's the only reason." Eubank quipped in return, "I guess you guys don't have an explanation, but you're cleared, I guess." Brazilian star Neymar is a friend of Eubank Jr. and entered the ring in October after Eubank Jr. triumphed over Camille Cerameta in Riyadh. The former Barcelona star's presence added to a dramatic scene where Ben charged into the ring to square off with his great rival moments after the bout ended.
Hopefully, we get that fight next.
Alal made the announcement following a dramatic evening in Saudi Arabia, where Eubank Jr. secured a dominant victory over Kamil Seremeta. The scenes afterwards stole the headlines as Ben stormed the ring, setting the stage for an explosive face-off between the two rivals. The event took place at the Kingdom Arena in Saudi Arabia, where Eubank Jr. delivered a powerful performance, stopping his opponent in the 7th round. Eubank was in control from the opening bell, using his superior speed and precision to outclass Seremeta, eventually overwhelming him with a barrage of punches that forced the referee to call a halt to the contest.
Again, go forehead to forehead, and we had a very entertaining spectacle there of, for some reason, Neymar being called in as a kind of...
Security quickly intervened to separate the two, but the tension was palpable, and the confrontation further fueled excitement for their potential showdown. Alal, who has played a significant role in bringing major boxing events to Saudi Arabia, confirmed that the first half of 2025 is a targeted period for the much-anticipated Eubank Jr. versus Ben clash.
Yeah, I feel like saying to Neymar, you know, I tell you one-on-one, football. I'm just messing. You know, he's such a great man. It was a pleasure having him there. I know he's Eubank's boy. I had to apologise to him for the beating I'm about to give his boy. But apart from that, it's all good.
A great moment, which will probably go viral. You talking in Spanish?
Ben and Eubank Jr. are set to face off on April 26 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to settle their long-standing feud. The fight will be contested at the middleweight limit of 160 pounds. Their fathers had two classic bouts in the 1990s, and this announcement will raise the stakes even further.
First time, what did you say at that moment, as we don't speak Spanish, didn't understand?
Well, Chris started speaking in Spanish to Neymar, so I was like, all right, cool. I say what I got to say, and I just said, listen, I'm ready now, you can have it now if you want. Obviously, you don't understand what I'm saying, so I said, Neymar, can you translate, please? And then he translated it. Yeah.
If Eubank wins, he will have the chance to fight Canelo at the beginning of 2026 for the best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing. Stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications for quality content. Until next time, peace out.